PASSCODE have remained one of the most unique sounding of all of the genre blurring girl bands to come out of Japan in the last decade and a bit, but it has to be asked, with the new song Groundswell, are they further cementing the sound that we already know they have, or are they further extending that experimental nature of the band? And moreover, does it work as a good single? Well, it's time to unpack and find out. So, hi there and welcome back to Japan, where if you're anything like me, and presumably if you're watching this video, you were really excited about Groundswell by PASSCODE to come out, because this is a band who have been doing a lot of awesome things, and certainly since the addition of Emily, it's really reinvigorated the band, at least in my opinion. So I was really excited to see what would come out with this song. Yes, we had an EP not that long ago, however this is them coming back with a music video with a real sense of intent. This is a big release. So how did it come off? Well, first of all, let's start by talking about what this song actually is. Because from a purely song structure perspective, Groundswell is clearly trying to be a much more accessible single. It locks in a rhythm and tempo very early and it sticks with it. Yes, we get the PASSCODE sound that has all of the usual sort of affected vocals and the big shouted Emily lyrics as well, and it is therefore a nice blur of different things. We have the synth playing in there that gives it a nice on the sort of more digital aspect, while we also have the very raw sort of drum sounds that again are showed nicely by them showing the actual drum kit in the music video. It does sound like a mixture of the digital and the real, which seems to be PASSCODE's whole thing, but it's trying to basically be something that isn't throwing you off. It doesn't have all of the crazy twists and turns in the rhythm that we're used to from the older and slightly more madder songs, even some of the newer and slightly more madder songs from PASSCODE. No, this is a song that just wants to convey a simple melody with punch to you. So does it do it effectively? This is where Groundswell enters something of an interesting limbo, where some people are going to love it, some people maybe not so much, but it's definitely stuck between several things. See, the reason why I think some people might love it is if you're already into the PASSCODE sound, but you just want to hear a strong melody, a simple, strong, melodic song, this has really got you covered. Because I think the melody in this is nice, it plays out with, as I say, that quintessential PASSCODE sound. However, it is perhaps going to be a little bit underwhelming for people who got into PASSCODE for all of the crazy antics, for all the quick changing songs, for the fact that you didn't know where any song was going to go from one step to the next. So is it a good hopping on place for brand new PASSCODE fans? Well, I don't really know, because I guess in some ways it eases you into the PASSCODE sound without having to get used to all of the madness straight away of all of, like I say, the tempo and rhythm changes that typify a lot of their other songs. However, I can't help but feel that if you're going to be into PASSCODE, you're probably just going to have to get into all of it at once. I don't think there's any easy way of getting into PASSCODE sound, because there are so many things that are so unique about it. So I don't really know how this song's going to work. I'm sure for some people it is going to work. It is going to bring in some people who weren't PASSCODE fans before, and they're going to slowly get into all of the idiosyncrasies of the sound through something like this. I think there might as well be some fans who are already really into PASSCODE who are just going to enjoy this as a simple melodic single to sort of pace things out between the other crazier songs. But by the same token, I think there are going to be some people who are, already big PASSCODE fans who are going to find this song a little bit underwhelming, and there are going to be some new potential listeners who are going to get into the melody but maybe struggle a little bit with PASSCODE sound. So yeah, I think this is a song that's in a bit of a limbo. It's going to be brilliant for some people and completely inaccessible for other people. So this is probably one of the most subjective songs I've ever heard from PASSCODE. It's one that I really don't know who I would recommend it to, and yet at the same time I can safely say that it's going to be really good for some people. I personally found myself really enjoying this just because I liked the melody so much, and yet I couldn't help but find something a little bit interesting about the juxtaposition of listening to a song that had such a simple, pure quality of melody and rhythm at its core, and yet at the same time knowing I was listening to it through that affected synth meets rock sound with the growls of Emily that just is PASSCODE. I've even thought that the music video was something of a sort of simplified metaphor for this, and that they did a music video which was green screen set on a version of Shibuya Crossing, and the old joke that I've often made in this channel with the community is the fact that virtually every band ever to exist in Japan for some reason will film a music video on Shibuya Crossing. It's too much. It's like so much of a stereotype, and yet at the same time PASSCODE do that, and then they mix it with a dystopian future and cars being flung around and all kinds of craziness, and you think, yeah, that's kind of like something normal and accessible mixed with the craziness of PASSCODE. It's either going to work for you or it's not. And that's one hell of a conclusion, isn't it? It's either going to work for you or not. What a useless review. However, I think the interesting thing from the back of this is seeing what you guys think. I'd be really interested to know whether you're a long-term fan of PASSCODE, a sort of a partial fan of PASSCODE, or someone who's new to PASSCODE, and whether you really enjoyed this, didn't enjoy it, or maybe you were just impartial to it. I think it's going to get very mixed reactions, though. I think that people are going to feel one way or the other about this very strongly. However, I must say, for saying that, I think maybe I am a little bit in the middle. You know, I really liked it. I really liked it, but is it going to be top of my list of PASSCODE songs? Probably not, because, you know, I tend to like the more crazy and very much PASSCODE songs. Is it going to be something I'd enjoy for listening to as a melody? Yes, and yet it's going to be so different from all my other sort of normal melodic rock songs. So I guess it fits in lots of playlists and also at the same time doesn't. What a weird non-review. Anyway, get in the comments, tell me what you're thinking until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. And hopefully for more PASSCODE as well. Until then, for now, ciao ciao.